What up? It's Snowflake. I'm going to show you how to edit testimonials. This is kind of a part 2 to my Plural Eyes tutorial where I show you how to sync clean audio to DSLR footage using Plural Eyes. But here I'm going to actually show you the second half of that process and how I edit testimonials. So when I opened up Plural Eyes, it created, it analyzed a sequence that I told it to analyze, and it synced up clean audio with the audio of DSLR footage. And so it does that so then we can replace the clean audio with that dirty audio from the DSLR footage and have a good sounding testimonial or whatever else you're shooting. So what I'll show you here first what Plural Eyes did is I had it select this sequence, and this sequence had all my video laid out and all my audio laid out. After it analyzed it, it created a duplicate sequence, and this is where it synced everything up in. Now, I'm going to put this in my trash so I have it for later if I need it. And I'm going to create a duplicate of this just because I like to have copies of everything. So then when I go in and make changes to this one, I can always go back, and if I need to go back to the beginning sequence, I can do that. And I'll throw that in the trash as well. I'm going to rename this to Testimonials All, and I'm going to drag it up here. Now I'll show you down here in the sequence. You can see that all the clean audio is here and all the dirty audio is here, and it's all connected to the video because that's how it captures it in the DSLR. So I'm going to de-link that audio from the video by hitting Command L, and that separates it so it's no longer connected, and then I can just delete it. And because I have a duplicate of this sequence, if I needed to go back and sync things up manually, I can do that. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to select all of my clean audio, and I'm just going to drag it up, and noting that I'm not shifting it any frames down the sequence. You can tell that right over here where it says 0, 0, 0, 0. And then what you have is clean audio, really low clean audio, but you have clean audio synced up to your video. Also in another language. Now I'm going to save this because I always save, and that's how you basically get it there. Then you've got to clean it up, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And I've created this other sequence with just a few less testimonials so you can see how I go through this. So after I've dragged that audio up, gotten rid of the dirty audio, have the clean audio, now I've got this video over the top of this audio, but it's uneven. It's got the beginning of the recording and the end and all this sort of stuff. So we're going to clean all this up, and I'm going to show you how I do that. First, I'm going to cut off the beginning and ends to this audio so it's all perfectly matched up to the video. Just like this. I hit Control V to cut, and then I go through here and delete this. Then what we got to do is we got to watch through these testimonials, and the reason why we got to watch through them is occasionally people will mess up. They'll want to start over. Maybe someone interjects and says, "Hey, can you answer this question, not say what you're saying," sort of thing. And we got to clean that up. We got to take that stuff out. But I also want to have a good succinct start and end to the testimonial so it looks nice and clean. And I'm going to show you how I do that with the 3 of these. So I scrub through everything at double the speed, speeds things up. I can still understand what they're saying, and it just makes things go faster. So I'll show you over here. I'm going to find a good starting point. So the first thing I notice right off the bat is the audio is too low, and it just appears that they've created that they just had the levels really low. So first I boost the audio here, 12, but because I was messing with this before, I know that's not going to be high enough. And I actually have to add a gain filter, and I got to add a 24 dB gain to this because it's so low. Okay, so I'm going to find the good starting point to this. I'm going to make sure this guy is not in the frame. And I'm going to cut right there.
I'm Bombshell Betty from San Francisco. And so far, 10-12, this has been game-changing for me in many ways. And I'm looking forward to the rest. We're going to try always moving the whole thing. Would highly recommend any of his programs.
Okay, so I'm going to find the end of this.
I would recommend any of his programs.
So it was a nice short testimonial. I like to make sure it kind of ends on a good spot. She's looking at the camera. I don't know if you can see that, as opposed to looking at the person behind the camera. So that's where I'm going to cut it. Control V again, delete that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a cross dissolve and a crossfade to both ends of these. And I'll show you, I've got these set up in my favorites here, but one of them is a 12 frame and one of them is like a 6 frame. The audio is a 6 frame crossfade and this is a 12 frame dissolve. I'm going to add that to the video and just drop it right there, and it adds it to both sides. Do the same thing here, adds it to both sides, and then it gives it a good, nice, soft fade in and fade out.
I'm Bombshell Betty from programs.
Cool. So on either side of that, I like to add a slug, and the reason I add a slug is I want it to start black. I want it to start black and end in black, so it looks clean. So I'm going to insert that on the end of this, the beginning of this sequence. I'm going to hit Control G, and that's going to close the gap. And I'm going to copy this slug and add it on to the other end. Command V. Okay, so now just kind of nice fade out. Now I'm going to go on to the next one. I'm going to have to do the same thing, and I'm going to add a little 12 dB here. I'm going to add a gain, and I'm going to boost this up to 24.
Hi,
So we're going to get a good start point. I'm going to watch through
Hi,
it.
I'm Derek Miller from Utah, and I just finished a 4-year college degree in entrepreneurship, and I've been working on all these here so far Disney over than I have a 4-year college degree. So I'd like to thank Brandon for the valuable 5 minutes. It's been great for him.
Okay, good.
A great conference.
So that's a good ending. I think he kind of looks off, but it's okay. I like to make sure we don't cut him off. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to add a cross dissolve. We're going to add a crossfade. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, actually that's too long of a crossfade. Let's do the shorter one. And I'm going to close the gap here between this slug. So now there's a slug between each of them. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it on the end of this one. And then I just like to double check, make sure it looks good.
Hi, I'm Derek.
Good? Good. Do the same thing with this one. This is the last one I'm going to show you here. I'm going to have to boost the audio on this as well. Add a 12 dB. Add a gain filter. I'm going to add that, boost that to 24.
And then you'll say, hi, I'm recording.
Make sure that dude's out of the frame.
Hi, I'm Guy from Los Angeles, California, and 10x Wealth has just been amazing
That's a little too loud. I'm going to bring this down up here.
experience for me because, hi, I'm Guy from Los Angeles, California, and 10x Wealth has been amazing for me, but I got to need to 10 level. And I feel like he's rocked the world. I feel like I know exactly what I need to do to go home and take my business to an entirely new level. Thank you so much, Brendan.
Good point. I'm going to cut that off. Control V. Delete that. I'm going to add a cross dissolve to either side. Crossfade. Close the gap here. I'm going to copy this, put it on the end. Now we have a nice clean ins and outs for each of these with a little slug. I'm going to render that. And keep in mind, I'm usually doing this for like 50 testimonials, right? So I just showed you a short little sample here. So keep this in mind that with all of these testimonials down the line, I have one sequence where I have all of them, and then I create individual sequences for each individual testimonial. And I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Over here, it would usually be done with this testimonials all sequence, right? But I created this one called testimonials B, and I'm going to duplicate this 3 times. Actually, just twice. Okay? Actually, no, I will do it 3 times so I can just demonstrate to you how I would do it. I have the one sequence that would have all of them, which would be testimonials B, and then I create testimonials 01, I copy that, and I go through and I paste it to each one of these. So there's testimonials 2, testimonials 3, and now what I will do is I will go through and I open up each one. And I'm leaving that slug at the beginning and the slug at the end. I will go to this first testimonial, through this first testimonial. I've already watched it. It's already cleaned up. And I'm just going to set my in marker. I'm going to do Option A, which selects everything down the line, and I'm going to delete it. Hit Option X to clear that in marker. And now that is perfectly set up as a single sequence testimonial. If there's one testimonial in that sequence. I'm going to go to the second one. I'm going to delete this slug, and I'm going to delete this testimonial. I'm going to hit Control G. That's going to bring the next one in the line. And I'm going to delete this one. This one I'll just grab like that. And this is what I will do for each one. If there's like 50 testimonials, this is what I do. This is my method of how I go through this and clean up all the testimonials. And that's it. Then you can go through and do a batch export It's a very simple process. If you need help on that, I have a tutorial on that as well. But you'll just go through, do a batch export, and get all that exported, and you're done with all your testimonials. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. If it was, make sure to like my video, comment on the video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And then check back later for more tutorials and tips on Final Cut Pro 7, Apple Motion, and Compressor. Thanks very much.